President Duterte is daring Vice President Leni Robredo to take charge of the government's widely criticized war on drugs. This after Robredo sought a more effective approach in dealing with drug offenders. Maricel Halili with the rest of the story.
Speaking in front of newly appointed officials at Malacanang, President Rodrigo Duterte said he is willing to test Vice President Leni Robredo if she can do a better job on implementing the war on drugs campaign. President Rodrigo Duterte dares Vice President Robredo to exercise his law enforcement powers for 6 months.
I'm sending a letter to her through Secretary Miguel. Tignan natin kung anong mangyari. Hindi ako makialam. Sige, gusto mo? Mas bright ka? Sige. Ikaw. Subukan mo.
Despite the dare, Duterte says he will not stop Robredo from criticizing the administration because this is a democratic country. He just wants to see what Robredo can do as an anti-drug czar if she needs to accept the challenge.
Gusto ko lang malaman kung kaya niya. Marami kasing sinasalita, redirect, o anong pinagsasabi niya sa labas. Do it here.
Liberal Party President and Minority Senator Kiko Pangilinan is okay with the challenge, but he questioned the 6-month period being given by Duterte. He said Duterte was given 3 years but still failed to put any drug lord behind bars or jail any customs officials involved in the entry of billions of pesos worth of shabu that entered the country. Pangilinan said Duterte should be fair and give Robredo 3 years instead. Duterte's challenge came after Robredo lambasted his war on drugs in an interview with international news agency Reuters.
3 years has shown us that it has not been effective. There have been so many deaths already. But the number of drug addicts have risen to unimaginable levels.
The vice president defended her statement after she was heavily criticized by the administration supporters. In her radio program last weekend, Robredo said she was misquoted by the international news agency. She clarified that what she told Reuters was that the government should assess and tweak its strategy and not put an end to the drug war. But for House Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano, survey shows that the public approves of Duterte's war on drugs.
Meron pong iba na question yung manner ng war on drugs or may mga dapat reforma or dapat yung aspeto ng rehab. Pero yung sinabi mong failed ang drug war, why does more than 80% of our people believe that it's safer now in the Philippines?
Pending before the International Criminal Court are human rights violation cases related to Duterte's drug war. For News 5, Maricel Halili, we are One News.
And circling back to President Duterte's challenge to VP Robredo to become the country's new drug czar. One of the questions, of course, being raised is if it would be, in fact, possible for Duterte to transfer his power to enforce laws to the vice president.
To tell us more about this, we have with us on the line Albay 1st District Representative, Liberal Party member Ed Lagman. Good afternoon, Representative Lagman. What are your thoughts on the president's offer?
Well, I think it's more of a ruse, because I don't think the president would like Vice President Leni Robredo to succeed on the drug issue where the president has failed in his brutal war against drugs. Well, the president appears to be washing his hands of the failed drug campaign of the present administration, which is centered on military and police activities. This drug campaign in other countries of similar nature, where the central figures of the police and the military have failed, like in the United States, in Thailand, in Mexico, and Colombia. In the case of the vice president, we all know that she has been very consistent in her being critical of the flawed approach of the president in the war against drugs. But the vice president has no real power and has no constitutional mandate, unlike the president. The vice president is not even an alter ego of the president because he's a member of the cabinet. So I don't think it would be proper for the vice president to accept the challenge when she might be designed to fail because she will not be given the real power and the real mandate.
Yes, but Congressman, I think the issue here is whether or not the Vice President can actually categorically accept the challenge within the bounds of the law. I think that is one of the questions. Can this be done? I mean, of course, we've never seen a president for this. I guess a lot of legal minds are saying that this is impossible. But if the president does issue the challenge, can the Vice President technically take it?
Well, I don't think the president can invest in or endow powers to the vice president, where the vice president does not have any. In the first place, we will have to check on the sincerity of the president, whether he really wants the vice president to succeed, or it could just be a ruse on the part of the president. So these are all legal and practical questions which have to be considered.
That's right. So when you say that it's a ruse on the part of the president, Congressman Lagman, what exactly do you mean? I know you already explained it, but I mean, do you honestly think that this is a ruse?
Well, in the first place, I don't think the president is really sincere in saying that he's going to give up powers in order for the vice president to solve the narcotics problem. I think he was just reacting to the very critical statements of the vice president with respect to his bloody war against drugs, and the statement of the vice president that we should be able to welcome the investigation about international body on this drug situation. So this is just a mere reaction on the part of the president.
All right. So again, another offhand comment. But what is the vice president going to do? Is she just going to ignore this, or should we wait for a statement or anything?
Well,
like
we
that?
should wait for her statement. We should wait for her statement. But I think the vice president will see through the ruse of the president in making this supposed challenge.
All right, I suppose time will tell whether or not this is really a ruse. Thank you for your time and your insight. That was Albay Representative Ed Lagman.